I'm Pam from All Hands Art, and today we're going to do the final step in Mosaic, which is grouting. What you need is a container, and you can see that I use the same container over and over and over again. I just scrape it out when I'm done. I like it that it's low and shallow. Water, this is just regular water. I refill bottles and bring my own water to the site. And grout comes in a lot of different colors, and it's good to protect yourself from the grout dust. So I'm going to wear a dust mask, and I have a trowel just for mixing, a straight edge mixing trowel. I like to start with the water. I'm going to put about ½ an inch in the bottom, maybe not even. I find that the grout doesn't stick as much in the corners if the water's there first. And then I'm going to pour the grout in. You can use a cup type of thing to scoop it also. And then I'm going to mix it up about the consistency of brownie dough or cookie dough. It should hold together really well, not be too wet. We're going to be working on a vertical surface, so we want it to hold its shape and not be slopping down the wall too much. This is looking a little dry, but if I keep stirring it, it might actually be just right. So let's see. This is kind of on the dry edge, but I think it's actually usable. If you're working on a horizontal surface, you have more flexibility. If it's a little bit wetter than this, it'll also work. But I actually like this. It's pretty stiff, but for what we're doing on a vertical surface, I actually like this because it's going to give us a little bit more control. So it's nice and firm. It's holding its shape on my trowel. It's a little bit lumpy, but it's well mixed, and it's going to hold its shape really nicely. So we mixed our grout, and it's been about 5 minutes, and that's good to let it slake. That's one of my favorite Mosaic words. Slaking is when, after you've mixed it, you let it sit, the chemicals do whatever the chemicals are supposed to do, and then you're going to mix it up again before applying it. So our grout has slaked and it's ready to go on. I'm wearing rubber gloves, pretty heavy duty because there's a lot of sharp edges. So then I'm going to spread it on, and don't be delicate here. Use a lot of body weight and muscle. I usually use the heel of my hand and kind of rub alongside of it, scrape it off with your fingers, and while I'm pushing it into all the cracks, I'm also at the same time wiping it off the surface of the tiles, because you don't want to get a whole bunch of grout kind of glopped on top of the tiles. You want it to be filling in all the cracks, but eventually you're going to wipe it off the surface of the tile. So don't use fingertips like I was just doing. Just use your palm, scrub it pretty hard, and fill in all those cracks, including the top edge of the cracks, the side, the bottom edge. If you're working on something square or whatever shape it is, make sure you get the edges, and just keep filling it in. So the last step in grouting is to polish. That's kind of the most satisfying for me because you get to see the finished product. So we've already put the grout on, spread the grout on, cleaned most of it away, and then there's just sort of a dusty film that now with the dry cloth I can just wipe away, and it leaves the tiles all shiny and clean and sparkly. So sometimes when the tiles are really uneven or the grout is drying quickly, you can use a damp sponge to do what Kathy's doing, which is just to smooth out the grout lines, clean off the chunks of grout from on top of the tiles, and then after that dries in just a dusty film, then it will be ready to polish off with a dry rag.